A high achiever is always striving for more, constantly pushing the limits, and never quite feeling like they can slow down. Does that sound like you? Today, we're discussing something many high achievers face, but often overlook: burnout. It's easy to think burnout is just feeling tired, but it's so much more than that. In this video, I will walk you through the 7 critical signs of burnout that are especially common for those of us who push our limits to the breaking point.
Number 1. Deep, unshakable tiredness.
You know that feeling when no matter how much sleep you get, you wake up just as tired as when you went to bed? That's one of the biggest red flags of burnout. This isn't the tiredness you shake off with a couple of cups of coffee. It's an exhaustion that sticks with you, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It can feel like your body and mind are just drained. High achievers are great at ignoring this, thinking they can push through. But the truth is, this kind of fatigue is your body's way of waving the red flag. You can't run on empty forever without something breaking down. So if you constantly feel like you're dragging yourself through the day, even after a good night's sleep, it's time to pause and ask yourself if burnout could be the reason. Take someone like Elon Musk. He's publicly admitted to working over 120 hours a week.
Yeah, my workload went up from about, 70 to 80 hours a week to probably 120. Yeah, I go to sleep, I wake up, I work, go to sleep, wake up, work, do that 7 days a week. I'll have to do that for a while, so no choice. But I think once Twitter is set on the right path, I think it is a much easier thing to manage than SpaceX or Tesla. So,
While he thrives on ambition, he's also confessed that this overwork took a massive toll on his well-being, leading to profound exhaustion. The takeaway is that even the most successful people in the world experience burnout when they don't listen to their bodies. Or think of a high school or college student who pulls all-nighters, thinking they can push through and finish their projects. They feel like superheroes in the moment, but soon they're crashing during the day, unable to focus in class. The energy simply isn't there. Ask your audience. Have you ever pushed yourself so hard that even a full night of sleep didn't help? How did it affect your day?
Number 2.
Slipping from your usual standards.
High achievers are known for their high standards. You're probably used to hitting your goals, meeting deadlines, and performing at a high level. But what happens when that starts to slip? Suddenly, tasks that used to be no problem are taking twice as long. And even when you put in the effort, you're not hitting the same results. This isn't just an off week. It's a gradual decline that doesn't get better with a quick break. Burnout affects your ability to focus and perform. You might start making small mistakes, struggling to concentrate, or feeling like no matter how hard you try, you just can't return to your normal pace. If this sounds familiar, it's a sign that burnout might be at play. Let's look at Simone Biles during the Tokyo Olympics. Someone at the peak of physical fitness and ability. Yet even she had to withdraw from events because she realized she was slipping from her usual performance. It wasn't because she lacked skill or motivation, but because burnout and mental strain impacted her ability to perform at her best. Sometimes your mind and body won't cooperate, no matter how hard you try. Or consider a software engineer who is usually a top performer, but suddenly they're missing deadlines, struggling with simple code, and making errors they'd never typically make. It's not a lack of skill. It's burnout dragging down their mental clarity. Have you ever noticed your productivity slipping? Maybe tasks that once felt easy now seem harder. What did you do to try and fix it?
Number 3.
Withdrawing from people.
Here's a sign that often flies under the radar: social withdrawal. Maybe you've been turning down invitations or canceling plans more often lately. It's not that you don't care about these people. You just don't have the energy. What used to be fun now feels like a burden. Socializing feels exhausting, so you retreat, telling yourself it's temporary. But isolation only makes burnout worse. We all need connection, even if it's just a quick coffee with a friend or a chat with a coworker. When you start cutting yourself off from others, it's a clear signal that burnout drains your emotional reserves. Consider someone like Serena Williams, who has spoken about her struggles with social withdrawal during intense competition and pressure. Even a world-class athlete can pull away from loved ones when burnout hits. In the corporate world, think of a team leader who, under pressure to meet tight deadlines, starts skipping team lunches or after-work events. They may believe they prioritize work, but they're cutting off the relationships that help them recharge emotionally. When did you last say no to a social event because you didn't have the energy? Did you feel more isolated afterward?
Number 4.
Emotional shifts.
Burnout doesn't just drain your energy, it impacts your emotions. Have you noticed yourself becoming more irritable? Maybe little things that wouldn't normally bother you now set you off. Or perhaps you're feeling more negative in general, like you're expecting the worst in every situation. These emotional shifts are major clues that burnout is taking hold. It's not just a bad mood, a sign that your mental and emotional resources are drained. Recognizing this early can help you address the root cause before it spirals out of control. Think about Bill Gates. He's known for his calm demeanor, but he's admitted that in the early years of building Microsoft, he became incredibly irritable, snapping at small things due to stress and exhaustion. Burnout doesn't discriminate, and it affects even those at the top. Another example could be a teacher who's usually patient and kind. Still, after months of managing heavy workloads and stressful situations, they start losing their temper with students over minor issues. Have you noticed any changes in your mood lately? Are you more irritable than usual? What do you think could be the cause?
Number 5.
Physical breakdown.
Burnout isn't just mental. It can manifest physically, too. Headaches, muscle tension, digestive issues, and even chronic pain can all be linked to burnout. Maybe your sleep is off, too. You go to bed exhausted but wake up feeling like you haven't rested at all. These physical symptoms are your body's way of saying, I can't keep up with this pace. When stress starts affecting your body this way, it's time to listen. It's not enough to treat the symptoms. You must get to the root cause. Arianna Huffington famously collapsed from exhaustion and burnout while running the Huffington Post. She woke up in a pool of blood after hitting her head, and the physical toll of overwork finally made her realize something had to change. This led her to start advocating for work-life balance and healthy sleep habits, or take a busy executive who's been battling constant migraines, not realizing that these headaches are a physical manifestation of stress and burnout. After a doctor's visit, they discover the real issue isn't medical, it's burnout. Have you been dealing with any unexplained physical symptoms like headaches or muscle tension? Do you think stress might be the cause?
Number 6.
Neglecting self-care.
Self-care might be the first thing to go when you're in burnout mode. You're so focused on meeting goals that you start skipping meals, cutting back on exercise, and dropping the activities that usually help you recharge. The problem is, the more you neglect yourself, the deeper you fall into burnout. High achievers often feel like they don't have time for self-care. But that's a dangerous mindset. If you're not taking care of yourself, it's impossible to sustain the high performance in the long run. Consider the story of Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook during a particularly intense period. She admitted to cutting out personal time, saying no to the gym, and eating at odd hours to keep up with work demands. It wasn't until she hit a wall that she realized how much she had sacrificed her well-being. Or think of a parent balancing work, kids, and home responsibilities who slowly stops exercising and skipping meals, thinking they can always catch up on their health later, only to find out burnout hits them hard. What's the first thing you let go of when feeling overwhelmed? Is it exercise, eating properly, taking time to relax?
Number 7. Feeling detached and unfulfilled.
Final sign of burnout, perhaps the most concerning, is detachment. You stop finding joy in the things that once satisfied you. Your work, hobbies, and relationships start to feel empty. You're going through the motions, but nothing feels fulfilling. This is a major red flag that burnout has taken hold. When you reach this point, it's crucial to step back and reevaluate what truly matters to you and how to reconnect with a sense of purpose. A great example of this is Prince Harry. He spoke about feeling detached and unfulfilled by his royal duties at a time when he was facing significant mental health challenges. Even though from the outside, it looked like he had everything, internally, he was struggling with a sense of disconnection. Another example could be a corporate lawyer who once loved the fast pace and challenge of their job, but after years of burnout, they feel empty, going through the motions without any passion or joy. Have you felt detached from the things you once loved? Does life feel more like going through the motions? What do you think caused that shift? Burnout is a serious issue, especially for high achievers. But the good news is that recognizing the signs early can help you take steps to recover before it gets worse. Coming up is our next video about why high achievers are more vulnerable to burnout. Remember, your mental and physical health is the foundation of your success. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Until next time, take care of yourself.